guys, alright, so today I wanted to address one of the things that I get asked, and I see it all over the internet, on blogs and everywhere, is the question, are you an atheist or an agnostic? So it seems like there's a lot of confusion in the atheist and the theist community about the definitions of these words, so let's check them out. Alright, so the first term we're going to cover today is theism and atheism. Theism deals with belief, and atheism also deals with belief. When you say someone is a theist, you say they believe in God. When someone says they're an atheist, that means they do not believe in God. Okay, the next term is Gnosticism and agnosticism. Being a Gnostic means you have a claim of knowledge. It's actually the Greek word for knowledge is gnosis. So Gnostic theist says, I know there is a God and I believe it. And a Gnostic atheist says, I know there is no God. They're making claims. Many people incorrectly think that agnosticism is sort of a fence-sitter position, that it means you're in the middle of the two. And that's not really the case. That's not really what agnosticism is, or Gnosticism. Okay, so this is where a distinction needs to be made as to what agnosticism actually is and what it's commonly misperceived as. So agnosticism is not a fence-sitter approach. As you guys see here, I have a little chart of what people commonly think agnosticism is. They think there's one scale, and on one end lies theists, and on the other end lies atheists, and the middle are agnostics. And that's not the way the scale actually works. Okay, so as you guys can see here, up on the top, we have an incorrect view of what people think agnosticism is. And on the bottom, we have a correct view of what Gnosticism and agnosticism is. They're not mutually exclusive from theism and atheism. You're on two different scales. Theism and atheism deals with belief. Gnosticism and agnosticism deals with knowledge. Okay, and this one goes into a little bit more depth about the four groups of agnostic atheist, Gnostic atheist, agnostic theist, or Gnostic theist. An important thing to note here. Anyone that's a Gnostic is making a claim. Anyone that's agnostic is not making a claim. So an agnostic atheist, that's what I am. That's what a lot of atheists are. We're agnostic atheists. They do not believe that any God exists, but they don't claim to know that no God exists. They're not making a claim of knowledge. An agnostic theist believes a God exists, but doesn't claim to be able to know this belief is true. Alright, next on the term list here, you have Gnostic atheists. This is like above strong atheism, like the little note you see at the bottom. It also includes a claim of knowledge. They do not believe any God exists, and they claim to know that no God exists. Alright, the next term is Gnostic theist. They believe a God exists and they claim to know that a God exists. This is a very strong theistic approach. Not believing in something is not the same as believing it doesn't exist. I have an example of a gumball machine here. As you guys see, here's a gumball machine. So let's just say this gumball machine is sitting in a room with you and it's filled with gumballs. You and I would agree that the number of gumballs is either even or odd. So what would the default position be for the number of gumballs? You would say it's neutral. You don't know. I don't know whether it's even or odd. If someone else in the room asserted the number of gumballs was even, and if I'm in the default position, I disbelieve that assertion. I don't accept it. I reject that assertion. That doesn't mean that I think the number of gumballs is odd. When you're addressing a dilemma, you only address a single prong of the dilemma at a time. For any single proposition, there are only two possibilities. You either accept the proposition or you do not reject the proposition. Rejecting a claim is not the assertion of the contrary. So, back to the God example, so either a God exists or he doesn't. A theist is offering the proposition that a God exists, gumballs are even, and I am rejecting their assertion. Theism is the acceptance of that position, and atheism is the rejection of that position. It's not the assertion that there are no gods. I hear that all the time. They say, oh, and you're an atheist. You believe there are no gods. No, we don't. That's not the atheist position. The atheist position is that we do not believe the proposition that gods exist. Alright, I hope this clears up any confusion you might have had regarding these terms. I hope you guys enjoyed.